Thank you for having me,
Uh-huh.
Jason.
You can leave now if you like.
No,
'cause
I'm already here. I drove so far.
You did drive so far. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
I have Matt Lieberman on
Hello.
my podcast today.
Yeah. Here. We're here.
You are here.
We're here to talk about a Bill Cosby album.
Yeah, we are. 8:15, 12:15.
Yes. I've wanted to come on the podcast for a long time.
I've wanted to have you on the podcast and say your name right for so long. Did you hear I couldn't say the name. The word name.
Well, you've been having like a rough day.
This is, it may be, that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's been a very stressful couple weeks. But that doesn't mean you should suffer for it.
I'm not suffering. I'm soaking it all in. This is cool. I mean, I do a lot of podcasts, but they don't get to be like super casual.
Right.
I feel like
casual, I can't speak.
my skin is a tingle. It's so casual. And I got to listen to this whole album today.
Yeah.
Which like I bought it randomly. I went to a record swap after like swearing that I didn't have any money, and then I bought like $90 worth of records.
Yep.
And this was in it, and then also Bill Cosby's first music album, Silver Throat Bill Cosby Sings, which I'm going to loan to you after because you have to listen.
I shouldn't be loaned that. I shouldn't be trusted with it now.
No,
I'll forget his name.
You'll forget his name.
You know, there's a Bing Crosby joke on that. Or, no, they call him Bill. Doesn't he call himself Bill Crosby? They say, that ain't Bill Crosby.
Yeah, that ain't Bing Crosby. That's Bill Crosby.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
On side 2.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I think I introduced you to this album.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
no, I've seen it, but I didn't know what it was about at all.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's weird because it's the only album I've ever come across where I feel like we're seeing him at work.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
On the albums when he's just doing pure material, he's fun. He's the Cosby that we know. And here, especially in the 8:15 show, in the dinner show, you see him wrestling with the audience, and it's really cool to see someone who like is always so polished, just doing the work.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Pete Holmes' podcast?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, there was I can't remember. I was listening to an old episode. I can't remember who was on, but they were talking about I think it was Gerard Carmichael or Jim Gaff. It was Jim Gaffigan.
Okay.
And they were talking about watching Dave Attell at 2 a.m. at in this Comedy Cellar versus like seeing him in a theater. And it's like, a guy like that, you want to see him box. You don't want to see the album set. You want to see him box.
Yeah.
It was cool to listen to Cosby box.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, and they're very different. A few things make their way, but like listening to him try it out for a different audience, try different formats to the joke, different speeds, different everything is different. Attitude, everything. I mean, if you were talking about before when you suggested it, like one of the big things that stood out to you was crowd work.
Yeah.
And that is something I guess I haven't ever heard him do.
Because he doesn't need to.
No.
You listen to the 12:15 show. For those of you who don't know anything about the album, it is 2 recordings of 2 shows that took place on the same night at the Harrah's in Lake Tahoe in 1969. And he does a lot of the same material over the course of the 2. Mm-hmm. For the second one, for the midnight show, the way they describe it on the back of the LP is the waiters serve 4 doubles to everyone since there's no service after the show starts. An air of anticipation, then a voice, and out steps Bill Cosby, cooking, weaving, sit back with some friends, offer them a drink, Coke, coffee, and laugh with the entertainer of our time. So they're drunk at this point, and he's encouraging them to keep drinking. So he has to do barely any crowd work.
Right.
He does one little bit, and then he goes right into material.
Yeah.
Versus like what I love about the dinner show is he does a little bit of crowd work, and then he does one bit of material about peas, about dinner, about the stuff on the plate, as he's encouraging them to eat as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Because he knows this crowd isn't paying attention to me. Mm-hmm. The only way to ensure that I can have most of them on my side is to get them to finish dinner,
right,
and make them comfortable enough,
yeah,
that they just want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So he does one bit, realizes they're not ready yet, goes back into crowd work, yeah, for another 12 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he tries that little bit about the friend in Texas.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, goes back to crowd work, and then it cuts out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because I feel like it's not the complete show.
Sure, yeah.
And I want to know what happens between that and side 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a little bit of mystery, and that's one thing is on the second record. It doesn't feel like he's got to fight against food. You know, it's weird to me that at the height of being a stand-up, to be able to be that big and release a fairly avant-garde record.
Yeah.
Pretty experimental. Nothing crazy, nothing psychedelic, but it's as psychedelic as Bill Cosby's going to get. And not just do that, but to hear him having a rough time and that he didn't care about releasing that. Not like he's bombing, but just it's not an easy show for him.
No.
And like I said, he's fighting against food.
Yeah. He's fighting against food. He's having less fun. But
yes.
What I love about it is you can almost hear him think. The rhythm is very different from any of his other albums, and especially from the 12-15 show, where I feel like he's had maybe a couple of drinks himself,
maybe, yeah,
and he's just off to the races, very high energy, very excited. And here he's doing, the kind of more practiced, calm, own the room Cosby patter that you see a lot of on... maybe not all the albums, but definitely of that era. I just keep thinking of Russell.
Yeah.
And he's just feeling the room out at all times. He's like a hunter. He's moving and weaving, and it's cool. I don't know. I did stand up for 5 years before I just couldn't anymore. I got really burnt out.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of the same shows, and if you aren't always writing, you get bored and you get discouraged. And I just kind of chickened out at some point.
Yeah.
And
out here, did you do it all out here?
I started in Boston, and it was a lot easier out there. It was easier to get stage time, and the climate is different over there. No one's out here. Everyone is concerned that there might be industry somewhere listening somewhere.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a job, and out there, people are doing it. They're working their day job, and then they're hustling out to do comedy at night because they need to.
Yes.
They love it.
Right.
And a lot of comedians that were there, when I was there, are now starting to break out here. But I didn't stay there long enough. When I got out here, I was doing the Comedy Store and just getting burnt out on that scene.
Yeah.
There just came a point where it just wasn't worth it anymore.
Were you doing well and didn't enjoy it, or was it just not enough?
I wasn't doing enough shows that the bad shows didn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was pretty much 50-50. When I was on, I was really on, and people would come up after, and I'd feel great, and then I'd spend the next 2 weeks writing, and then I'd have a bad show, and just I couldn't look anyone in the face for days. There's nothing purer than owning a room, just being yourself, and I was getting very, very close. I felt to being my best self on stage, not being a character. When I was doing it in Boston, and I know we're getting way off.
No, this is part of it.
Okay, great. When I was doing it in Boston, I embraced the fact that I was really pathetic. I'd had Eddie Brill, who was the Late Show with David Letterman booker for 20 years, and he still does their warm up. He did a workshop at Emerson College, which is where I went. And he hooked into... I did this one joke about how I was still a virgin at 19. And how, I just must really intimidate all women, and just basically every time I entered a room, everything in the room like just shut spontaneously and just squeezed super tight because it was that intimidated by all that I had.
Right.
And like talking about my last name, my name translated to Matthew means gift of God, and Lieberman means lover man or man of love. Mm-hmm. So it was like, how am I supposed to live up to that reputation?
Right.
And he was like, do that.
Yeah.
Do that. That's honest. That's real. Do it. So I was playing into this character, and it worked very well for me. And then after some of the jokes were, after I lost my virginity and the jokes didn't, fit, it started to feel kind of rote, and I got really lost just trying to find material that would make people laugh instead of like, what do I find funny?
No matter, any nightclub, you get a potato. They give you, even if you have a sandwich, they give you a potato. You could eat, there's somebody over here. Well, you ate all of your potato almost. And peas. Now, there you are, peas. Look at that. Huh? You like peas? Huh? Why'd you leave them? Peas are very uncool to serve in a nightclub or any place where you're out eating. Very uncool. Have you ever... Pick up a fork full of peas. Just go ahead. Just dig right in there and pick them up. See how some of them fall off? Whoever made up peas to eat out in public, man, they roll off your fork all the time, and you can't spoon them because there's a busy guy spooning his peas over there. They'd rather that you fork them and drop half of them on the floor, There's a lot of slick people pushing peas over onto your plate, pretending you did it, You dropped your peas all over your plate there. Look at the bottom of your shoes. There's peas all on the bottom, the way you've squashed them and everything. Peas in your lap, little pea in your buttonhole. And peas really don't do anything. There's no nutrition. Do you ever hear a mother say, eat your peas, it'll make you grow? Never. Just say, eat your peas, because they want to laugh at you. See them falling all on the floor and everything.
And then I came out here and I got a girlfriend, and then the relationship humor started bringing me back. And to me, it all comes down to, like, the things that I love are relationships and why people lie to ourselves and lie to each other.
Yeah.
What are we all afraid of? Like, that's fun for me to talk about because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love... What happened yesterday? My girlfriend texted me early in the morning. She's like, it's steak and blowjob day. And I'm like, I feel like, okay, I'm confused that she would bring that up to me, but she was really excited about it. And I was like, well, no, it's pie day. So she was, and I was like, do you want to have steak and pie for dinner? And she was like, perfect, steak and pie and blowjobs. And like, that was very much a part of the conversation. Was she wanted to have that, like, she was really, really intent on like making that happen, and like me being really, really excited about it. And I cared more about the steak and the pie. And I feel like there's just so much psychologically there. It's just very strange. And then also, there's this web series. I'm not going to say what because I don't want more people to find it. But I did an interview for this dating web series where they just ask lots of people dating questions.
Yeah.
That I just gave a very frank interview. They gave me $100.
Okay.
And I just talked about dating and shit very, very frankly.
Yeah.
Because I just was addicted to being honest.
Of course.
And the first few pieces with my stuff came out in the last week, and they chopped it down to like completely out of context shit. So like it cuts to me, and I'm like, I'm afraid I have a low sperm count. Cut.
Oh, fuck you.
It's like I was talking about how I'm just like, the fact that I've only had one pregnancy scare in my life makes me think that I might be sterile, and I think that's not a crazy thought.
Right.
And that's like, to me, that's a great bit.
Yeah.
That's what I love most about the difference between these two albums is how he's appealing to the audience.
Yeah.
Knowing what those audiences are and appealing to them differently, leaning heavier on drinking and gambling. Sure. In the later show, and appealing to the women who, now that they're drunk, they're laughing harder than the men, and trying to get them laugh more, embarrass the husbands, versus, in the dinner show, he goes right to talking to the kids because all of the parents will laugh at that, and the kids will laugh at the other kids.
Of course, yeah. Man, that's so funny. Do you? So, I mean, that seems to me that it seems one of the reasons you're so interested is not just because it's such a good album because it's Bill Cosby, but I mean, can you sort of feel what it must have been like to be up on stage for that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
Is most of the shows that I ever did, I was boxing with an audience, and I wasn't quite at the level where, you know, I could change tack and change my set and just go into crowd work and feel it out. And listening to him feel it out, like, makes me just think about his confidence level here. Yeah. He doesn't just have to stand on his material.
Sure.
He knows in his heart he is funny enough and he is smart enough that he can wrap up these crowds in the first 20 and then just say whatever he wants in the second half.
Yeah.
And just own them. And listening to him puzzle that out, like, I love puzzles, I love logic puzzles. The puzzle of an audience is great. And it's why, like, I do, after leaving stand-up, I do sketch and I do improv. And improv, you're not really thinking about the audience as much, but sketch, when you're building a running order, and you're trying to think of, you know, the different types of humor that we have in this show, what is the best way to showcase them so that the audience is always guessing and they never get bored.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, he's doing that in the moment. He knows he has pieces, he has these bits, these material, these sketches in the back of his mind. He can drop at any time, but he's waiting for the right moment, and he's making a running order on the fly.
Yeah.
And it's addictive, and I wish that I could just have raw sets from everyone.
Right. Of course.
Because you know they're funny. You know the material's going to be great, and there's some stuff in here that's really funny, some stuff that's like, okay. But he's just trying to entertain a crowd and get his paycheck and have a good time.
Yeah.
And his fun level grows exponentially over the course of both shows.
Yeah.
To the point that he is just having the time of his life by side 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. It's interesting to me too to listen, just in terms of improv, how you find your way, because I've never done stand-up, how you find your way from crowd work back to a bit, like, with ease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That segue is magical.
Exactly. Yeah, when he's like, you know, and that reminds me of a friend, you know, that reminds me of my friend in Texas.
Yes.
But it didn't remind him of his friend in Texas. But you're kind of like, you're seeing your opportunities, and like, in improv, you're always looking for callbacks or for moments to bring stuff back. And I feel like it's the same instinct. It's knowing that you have enough of them on your side and that it's been long enough, whatever you're doing is long enough, you have them at max attention, so that whatever you do next is going to not only have the best shot of going well, but you're going to have the most people enjoying it, thinking about it critically in that moment. He's setting these people up for the bits, and then if they work, then he gets to do more bits. The bit is the reward.
Right.
Crowd work, that's the work. Yeah. Wait, so you've never done stand-up, you just love stand-up?
I do. I mean, in general, I just like comedy albums. I like anything where I don't have to be around other people. And I can listen, the comedy is mine. It's changing, obviously, because I like to perform now. I don't mind going to shows now. But, yeah, for a long time, it was just me and albums, and that was my favorite thing, and I would make my own albums. But, again, I didn't go on stage so that anybody would see me ahead of time. I would just make shit for myself.
Wait, you have albums?
Yeah, I did one album. I would never advise you to listen to it.
I want to listen to it.
It's bad.
Will you review it for your 100th episode?
That would be really funny.
That would be really funny.
I should get my best friend out here because we did it together.
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really perfect to bring those two podcasts together, because he and I are talking about all our sketches from when we were 13. I mean, I'm playing the shit we recorded when we were 13 on the podcast, talking about how awful it was.
Can you? I know we're talking about Cosby. Can you tell me one of the bits?
They're very hard to explain, because honestly, we talked about this the other day. We realized all our sketches are either fake commercials or fake interview shows. And the one the bit that I did most frequently was a character called Father O'Malley, who did a 60-second sermon. I was not religious, was not raised with the Bible. I was gleaning my satire of religion off of some things I had seen on television. Satire being a very loose word for a
Right.
13-year-old boy. There's that. Most recently, we did the one that we just did was where my buddy Dan was playing an interviewer, and I was sort of Ringo Starr and sort of not. Horrible.
Have you ever
Bad.
listened to Don Adams Meets the Roving Reporter?
No, I really want to get that album,
Yeah.
actually. Is it good?
It's good.
Yeah.
And it's literally just that. It's this roving reporter coming up to all these different wacky characters trying to report on stories, and then all the characters are played by Don Adams.
Of course, okay.
And it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same bit. Mm-hmm. It's the same bit 8 to 12 times
Sure.
over the course of this album, but it
Yeah.
doesn't get old. Because just his timing,
Yeah.
there's just something about that voice, man.
Definitely.
It's
Definitely.
so important. Mm-hmm. And there's some moments on this Cosby album. Hannibal Buress isn't far off from doing conversational young Cosby.
Yeah.
In terms of like tone of voice and pacing. Like at times I kind of had to look up and like, am I like, what is it? Sounds like him. I don't know if you caught that. If you felt that.
I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
There's just this kind of very casual, mumbly. He's not trying to get your attention, but everything that he's saying is about getting your attention.
Yes.
He knows that he's the second focal point of this room.
Right.
The first is your table, your family, your food. And, if he can make enough people laugh, those other people will eventually look up and pay attention. But he knows not to waste his energy early on.
Yeah.
Because not only does he have to do this whole show and get them on his side and do the hard work, he has a whole other show in 4 hours.
Yes.
And he's going to be up till like 1 or 2 in the morning. And so he takes his time.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that young comics have a lot of trouble doing, that I had a lot of trouble doing. And like, I do this thing where I go back to stand up like twice a year.
Okay.
And like be like, I'm gonna do it again. Like screw this. I'm not going to let like the LA scene or how I felt about it or who I was then stop me. I need to see this out.
Yeah.
I
understand that.
And I take my time and I always have fun. And even if like the last time I went up, I had these horrible hecklers, kind of like drunk older gentlemen. They didn't, I don't know if they had jobs or they were just very blue collar, like nothing necessarily wrong with them. They just kept talking to me during the set, and I'm like trying to do these bits, and I kind of go halfway. I don't completely shut him down because he's like big enough that I'm a little afraid. I'm just kind of like, so how do you feel about that? And trying to do crowd work with him, and kind of like I get a couple answers, a little back and forth. I'm giggling, and then I go back to my bit, like right where I left off.
Right.
And I don't even know the point of that anecdote.
You keep coming back to it, and the thing people don't have is patience, maybe.
Right, and the patience, I think, was the most rewarding element of that set, is knowing this is not the set I want it to be.
Yeah.
This is not the show that I wanted to have. I'm not going to get to do all the bits that I wanted. This recording is kind of garbage. I'm not going to be able to post this anywhere.
Right.
But I'm taking my time, and all of the jokes that I am getting to are getting solid laughs.
You got your tickets yet? Huh? Don't come all the way up here and see me if you're not coming to Oakland. You live right in Oakland. You mean you're going to walk right by the place? Oh, I saw him already. I drive all the way. This is for my benefit. This big concert in Oakland, that's where I want to see it. What do you mean I'll be too far away? You live in Oakland. You drove about 1,400 miles to get here. For dinner? What, do you like the dinner here? Or the coffee's great or what? But I mean, you're going to come to Oakland. I'll have a different show in Oakland. It's clean. Do I realize how... Sure I realize how big it is. Well, then if you get there first and you buy the front row tickets, of course with your eyes, I imagine... Yeah, I don't blame you. Would you like a seat right here?
And that's a message. Keep doing it.
Sure.
That wasn't a bad show. But would I want to sit for like 3 hours on a Wednesday to get my 7 minutes and potentially have that derailed again? No, I
understand that.
Right now, I just can't.
Well, see, that was my next question, was how much time do you, on average, get? And I figure it was about 7. How the fuck do you develop patience within... I guess you have to develop it over other shows to get it right in one show, but that's... I mean, in 7 minutes, how do you... You've got 7 minutes, you've already got to pack into that time anyway.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The problem is I never do enough sets. And if you're doing 5 or 6 sets a week, then, not being able to get all the jokes out on one particular night doesn't matter as much.
Okay.
And then you can just relax into it and just look at the crowd and pick stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's how I started doing more crowd work, was when I was doing 7 instead of 5, and I wasn't at the Comedy Store, so it wasn't like, if I want to be invited back, I have to kill.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're not worrying as much about killing and you're just having a great time, especially if you're energetic and you're articulate, the audience, the ones that are there to have fun, will always join you.
Yeah.
It may take a second,
sure,
but you don't have to panic. And I think what I did for literally the first 4 really for all 5 years that I was really doing comedy, I was always panicking.
Okay.
Always. Because I didn't like myself.
Uh-huh.
And, some people may say, like, oh, you need to have, like, you can't, if you want to be a great stand-up, you have to have severe problems
right.
with yourself or mental issues, or like, and that's all. You don't have to. It can birth great things.
Sure.
But to have the level of confidence that you need to own a room like Cosby's doing on this album, you have to have some deep self-love.
Yes.
And I think you can love yourself and your flaws if you don't deny your flaws and instead, like, are able to laugh about them. That's the easiest way to generate.
He talks so casually in this about growing up in the ghetto. He even uses the word the ghetto. And, but he's laughing giddily at the end, where at the end of that one bit where he's talking about basically worrying about getting killed by a bunch of fucking thugs.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening. I'm thinking, and Jen and I were thinking about it and talking about it out loud. Like that, I would shit myself. Like I would not know what to do. And he's just like laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like I'm damaged. This dark thing in my past really fucked me up. It's like, no, I this was a part of my life that I moved past. And isn't this funny?
Yeah.
Like in the moment, this was it was not great, but it's really great now.
But it's a great story.
Yeah.
And, he does like 3 or 4 stories over the course of the double album. Like it's a lot of crowd work, a lot of bits, and most of what I love from him is stories.
Sure.
You're exactly right. He's taking this thing that may have been damaging early on, but he can look back on it with humor now because, like, nothing bad happened, and he's being a pansy. He's setting himself up to be the heel in this bit. I think this is a Parks and Recreation line. It's like talking about in the Yiddish culture, schlemiels and schlemazzles.
Yeah, right.
That Jerry, a schlemiel is someone who spills soup on someone else, and schlemazel is the person who gets
spilled on.
Yeah, and he's both. And he's setting himself up to be either one. He's just he's making fun of himself and his background because these people might not be comfortable with what he's saying, and I think he's taking that into account.
Yeah.
And by having the same reaction that they would have had in that scenario and coming to their level and being like, wouldn't that scare the crap out of you? But don't you have that friend who would want to get that girl anyway?
Right.
He's using his own experiences to appeal directly to people with vastly different backgrounds. He's keying in on what is the same.
Yeah.
What is the same between us? And I can't remember, I think maybe I read it. I was a little intimidated coming on your podcast because most of mine are like TV recap shows, and like I love comedy, and when I come on a comedy podcast, I want to fucking bring it.
But now you know that I'm retarded. You don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah. You called me Justin Lieberstein. So
Steen. Okay, don't be racist.
So, sorry.
Thank you.
We're not a race. We're a people. I don't think we're a race.
Don't be peopleist.
Okay, fine. Okay. But I read on Cosby's Wikipedia. That his philosophy, I'm butchering it, but it was like his philosophy is basically like when he's appealing to these largely middle and upper middle class white audiences, that he's trying to show them that even though we look different, we come from different places, we agree on so many things.
Yeah.
And we feel the same way about so many things. Isn't that race relations right there?
Yeah.
Like against some critics who felt that he was pandering or something like that. And I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And I think that that's on a smaller level what you're doing with any audience. And the best comedy is we're getting a visceral, gut-busting reaction because whoever they are and whatever story they're telling, whoever they are, they're tapping into something real about ourselves, usually something we're uncomfortable with or a fear. I had a great sketch teacher, Heather Ann Campbell, who is she wrote for SNL for a while, and she was a writer on Incredible Crew, which was a sketch on Cartoon Network. Now she writes for Eric Andre's show.
Oh, okay.
And for Fox ADHD and all their shorts. And she said that laughter as a reaction, and I really think there's a lot of truth in this, where does it come from? When we were cave people or living out on the plain and you hear a rustling in the bushes, for a hot second, your whole body tenses up. I'm going to die, is the thought. Whatever's about to come out of there could rip my face off and kill me and disembowel and not care. And then rustle, 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 and out pops a little fluffy bunny. You and everyone at the fire start laughing.
Right.
Uproariously.
Right. Because
you came so close to something that you really are afraid of.
Yeah.
And then have it subverted.
Yeah.
Have it twisted. And to me, the best stand-ups are able to get so close to making you uncomfortable or touching on something you're deeply afraid of or you don't want to talk about. And then at the last second, they make that left bank turn into something funny and gets to the heart of why that bothers you.
Yeah.
And makes it okay that it bothers you. Or makes you realize how ridiculous it is that it bothers you. And you 100% agree. And laughter is that mutual agreement throughout the entire audience.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a nice perspective. I like that. It makes me think about some comedians who are less than deft about it, and who, again, you obviously anybody can like what they like, but there are people who like to push and to test in a way to do exactly what you're talking about, but in such a way that it makes people feel deathly uncomfortable. There are a lot of people who just really like to say shit they don't mean.
Yeah.
But it's like Sam Kinison could get vile.
Yeah.
I don't think he was not that guy, but he could get fucking vile.
Right.
And he's trying to get the same reaction, but for me personally, I appreciate it when it's done in what I consider to be a subtler manner.
Absolutely.
That's I think why people love Cosby, because he's still doing the same thing.
He's doing the exact same thing. He's just taking out everything that would make it hard for him to get another job.
Right.
Like it's just, he even when he's pitching the woman in the 8:15 show, he's pitching her to come see his next show in Oakland.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? You're going to drive all the way out here, but you won't go to that one? Come on, it's clean. It'll be a completely different show. It'll all be clean. That's the big one. And the guys like him and Brian Regan, they still tap into the same, pleasure centers and the same kind of like parts of your brain that shock humor or louder humor perhaps do. They're just doing it in a way that's, more commercially viable. It's a choice.
Sure.
It's the harder choice, I think.
Yeah.
Some say that it's braver to go and like really touch on the things that no one wants to talk about and make them funny. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But as a performer, it is incredibly brave and incredibly dangerous, in my opinion, to say, I'm only going to work clean. How can I be as good as everyone else when they're able to say whatever they want?
Right.
And the folks who do it well will always go down, I think, as the most respected among comedians, if not everyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's... I mean, how many completely clean comics can you think of that you're like, this is one of the all-time greats?
Right.
And to me, it's Cosby and Regan and Seinfeld. Although, like, he can get dirtier, he just doesn't.
Oh, man, you're talking about a guy lying his way into heaven, man? I will be there, Jack. Because there's no such thing as an atheist. No such thing as an atheist, man. You may walk around all day saying, I don't believe in God, ain't none. But if that ground shakes, you're going to look up. That's all there is to it. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to cop out, man, all of you. So I knew you were really up there all the time, man, you know. I was just fooling with these guys, you know. Because ain't nothing stronger than that, than the ground shaking, you know, and buildings falling over. Forget that, Jack. And I'm telling you another thing. You better stop calling the Lord's name in vain. All of you. Cut it out. You don't need to, because he's busy. God is busy. God is busy, man. He's working, trying to solve problems, trying to solve the racial problem, trying to solve Vietnam. He's trying to solve them so they don't look like it was a miracle.
Did you ever have to think, I mean, did you make a conscious effort to think about that stuff when you were performing? I mean, did you ever get dirty, or?
I started very dirty.
Okay.
The first stand-up show I ever did was like right after Steve Irwin died, the crocodile hunter.
Oh, okay.
So it was basically like a 4.5 minute rambling bit about how stingrays are the things that are going to start killing us now, and like how basically, if that can kill us, what won't kill us? Because it's just basically, it's like a bath mat that got thrown into the water and has a tail. But then it was just lots of like dick and masturbation and like, you know, I was 18, you know, I was just trying to get a reaction because I didn't trust that I was funny. And then I had a really bad show and I just stopped for like 2 months straight. And when I came back, I'm like, I'm only doing clean material.
Okay.
I'm only doing clean material. And my lead off, my opener was like a really bad Dane Cook impression. Which, like, you know, now I'm like, oh, come on, dude. But making fun of another comic and like, you know, like, listen, no one can take Retaliation away from Dane Cook.
Right.
It's a good album.
Sure.
It's a good album. And I feel like a lot of people crap on Dane Cook. I'm not here to do that. When I was 18, though, I wanted to do it all the time.
Of course.
And it was basically, it was like how every Dane Cook bit is the same, and he's just kind of repeating the same thing over and over, and cursing. And then I did a bit about Lay's stacks. And I'm just like, how anyone's going to believe that that's just Pringles. You're copying Pringles. And something about something that involved AIDS in this Lay's stacks bit. And I wish I could remember. I have these like old stand-up sets on YouTube, and we can watch one after.
Oh my.
And like I'm like 18, 19. There's one from the Boston Comedy Festival in 2007, 2006, 2007. And it's, oh my god, it's like 12 minutes long for what's supposed to be 5 minutes. It's bad news. Oh man.
But it's got to be heaven listening to somebody who's at the top of their game. Do you, I mean, and I already asked, I mean, you know what it feels like sort of to be up there. Do you imagine it? Does it make you want to do comedy again when you listen to this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like now, like ever since I started podcasting, I mean, for those who don't know, I do podcasts for AfterBuzz TV, and I review a lot of TV shows over there. And I've been getting into comedy podcasts. Your podcast is one of them, and you know the Mark Marons and the Pete Holmeses of the world. And the more I hear about it, and the more that I do improv and sketch, and like become more confident that I am funny on stage, I'm dying to do stand up again. It's just like, if I'm really gonna do it, if I'm gonna do it, I want to be able to commit 3-4 nights a week and pound that out.
Of course.
Pound it out. And I just don't. I don't have either. It's always I don't have the time or I don't have the wherewithal. It makes me feel like shit about myself.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the albatross, man. Because I know it's like when you know you were okay at something at like 20. If I stuck with it, how good could I be? And like having friends from back then who are now like great and are like if not like this close, they're close to this close.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Wexler is an LA comic who I did all stand up with at Emerson, and he just he attacked it from moment one. And now, I see things like, Blake Wexler doing Emerson alumni, big stand-up show. Blake Wexler at the Improv, he's a Todd Glass show, I haven't seen him in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But intensely jealous.
Sure.
Intensely jealous that he stuck with it and it's working out, because that's awesome.
Of course. Yeah.
He's a very funny guy, and there was a time when I was a year older than him and had a year more experience under my belt, and I was like, this kid, who is he? I'm the fucking champion of this Emerson stand-up scene, blah blah. BS, who am I? And trying to doing my stories about I used to tell this story about I worked at a convenience store at my school, and it was inside one of the dormitories, and I'd work there till 2:30 in the morning, and then I'd close up, and I was the only one there. My boss left. I got there at 6 p.m. My boss left at 8, so I was running the whole thing. And I would steal stuff all the time because the prices were astronomical. I figured stealing was factored into the pricing.
Right.
And I used to tell this story about a guy who came trying to get condoms, and he ran down from the dorms in boxers, and we didn't have any condoms left. And that just telling the mammoth struggle that this guy went to get it. It was my least favorite bit to perform because it felt super fakey.
Yeah.
Because I'm really exaggerating the story, but crowds loved it.
Okay.
And it was always when people would come up to me, they'd talk to me about that story. And I've always wondered with storytelling comedians like Cosby, how do you not get bored of a story you've told 1,000 times? The details never change.
Yeah.
But the difference is, when you listen, I can't remember which of the stories he repeated in both sets. He repeated, let's go back, he repeated the bit about golf and football.
Yes, yeah.
And he did the thing about his friend Rudy.
Right, yeah.
Instead of God. And I'm when he tells them a little bit differently, and it's not as rote. And once you know the beats of a bit, and you know the punchlines, being able to just play with it and improv with it on stage, I never did that.
Okay.
I didn't have enough confidence back then. And I wonder if I did storytelling again and being able to switch it up and make it feel more real, could a story last forever?
Right.
That's
a really good point. That was going to be the next thing I was going to say. Is just do it different every fucking time. But I also understand what you're saying. If you don't have the confidence, maybe that is a lot harder. But what I was thinking though is, what made you think you could do it? It's not just the availability of a club and a microphone,
Stand
right?
up.
Yeah. What made you think that? Oh yeah, this to me. I'll be honest with you. Before I started the podcast and before I started listening to many podcasts, in my head, stand-up was effectively not a thing. I know it exists, and I know people do it. And I live out here where I know people do stand-up, but I didn't hear enough people talking about it or doing it. I never. I knew the haha. I live right now. I used to live right down by the haha cafe.
Right.
I would walk by it every night, literally every night, and I didn't think about it. I'm I saw Gabriel Iglesias. Okay, that's a guy I've seen on Comedy Central. But in my brain, stand-up's not a possibility. I've always done comedy in some way, but stand-up was never a possibility.
That's so strange to me. You should do it. We'll go.
I would try it.
Okay.
But I hate when I hear people say, I'll try stand-up. I don't like that. Open mic would be good for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of crazy people and a lot of depression and a lot of anger, which is why I stopped going.
Yeah.
But
that I'm used to, though.
Is my background with stand-up, when I was in high school, I never really left the house. I had activities. I was in musicals and plays and stuff. So I had a stage background. But I didn't really have friends that I hung out with. And I would just sit at home, and it was back during the big illegal downloading phase, and I just downloaded all the Comedy Central presents.
Holy shit.
All of them.
That's amazing.
And I would just watch like I would have that and like a bunch of other TV shows in a massive playlist on shuffle, and anytime that I was home, it would just be on.
Yeah.
And I watched like Gabriel Iglesias was one, you know, Brian Regan, Stephen Lynch. Like I'd watch these repeatedly nonstop. So when I went to college, and this first show that I did was it was at the college. It was it was the orientation week open mic night thing. Anyone could do anything.
Yes.
And I was just like, you know, no one knows me here.
Yeah.
I could be funny.
Sure.
I'm gonna go do this thing. I'm gonna try it. It doesn't matter. It's only the first week of school. Who cares?
Sure.
And it's not a real crowd. Whatever. So I got up and I do what's supposed to be 5 minutes. I do like a 14-minute set.
Okay.
That's like rambly and like
first time.
Yeah, 14 minutes, and I'm telling stories about like these like kind of like ghetto these two girls that were in my senior health class, and like doing impressions and like getting laughs, but weak sauce, you know. But I'm over the moon about it,
of course,
because I didn't die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm great. I'm gonna do this again. What? There's a comedy club 2 doors down. Perfect. Awesome. I'm going. So literally 2 nights later, I go to this comedy club. I go to Dick Doherty's Beantown Comedy Vault.
All right.
Underneath Remington's restaurant, which I did a lot of open mics there, and it's like it's a great little room. And I go up and I tell my first joke, and it's about Rosh Hashanah and my dad, and about how Jews always ask you what you ate that day.
Okay.
And that, like, food is the most important thing to a Jewish parent. Is that you're eating, what you're eating, how'd it taste?
Yeah.
Is it better than blank?
Yeah.
And I do my first joke, no laughs. And I just disintegrate. And I'm just like, I literally aloud, I'm like, you guys are killing me. And I put the mic back, and I walk off the stage, and I keep walking. I walk out of the club. I walk all the way back to my dorm room, and I lay down on my bed, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. 2 months later, I do another college show. It goes really well, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, great, I can do this.
I want to tell you something about the Lord, God. I think that we use the Lord's name in vain. You know, I think that God is really... He can hear everything and he can see everything. And I think he's just busy, you know, working on problems. He's working on racial problem, Vietnam. He's working on them. Now, we keep bothering him for no reason. We keep calling his name for no reason. And he can hear us, and it distracts him. I mean, for instance, now, he's working on Vietnam and the racial problem, trying to solve them without having them look like a miracle, you know? And he's doing that, you know. And all of a sudden, you see a friend of yours. You say, "Oh my God, there's Hilda." He says, "What? Who called? Who wanted me?" Now you see, you got to stop bugging him. You guys out there playing blackjack. Oh God, if I can have a 7, I won't bust out. No, that doesn't. You know, leave him alone. I hear you out there at the crap table. Oh God, let me have an 11. I got a $1 bet on it. You know, leave him alone. Now I got a friend of mine. His name is Rudy. He ain't doing nothing. We could call him all day, man. Wouldn't be bugging nobody. You know, come on, Rudy, give me a hard 6. You know, he'll do just about the same thing for you. Give it to him. Let him have it. You know, really.
And that first year was all fits and starts, where I'd be doing it solid for 2 months, and then I would have a bad show, and I wouldn't do it again for another 2 months.
Yeah.
And it was just off and on, while meeting people, at least in the Emerson comedy community, who would always invite me back to do more shows. And then when I would do their shows, I would agree to do it, and they'd be like, crap, I got to write new material. Because the people who are going to come to this show have come to every other Emerson show. And I would always be writing bits the hour before a show, and it just wasn't... I never got into the swing of writing just because you want to get it down, because you can't wait to perform it. I was always hunting for material to do, and now that I've been doing improv and sketch for so long, and like, you know, have confidence in my own ability and my own ability to hold a stage and hosting all these podcasts and being funny off of nothing. Now my brain is just swimming with bits, and now I can't do bits. And I wish the LA scene was more like Boston. I wish it wasn't like.
Isn't there a way to treat it like it is, though?
Yeah, and that would be to, you know, say, screw being successful, screw being famous as a stand-up, go and do it once a week because you love doing it. Because I know that I love doing it. I just hate sitting through the 2.5 hours of depression and there's this amazing crazy guy. And maybe I shouldn't say that he's crazy because I don't know him. It's I think his name's like Jimmy the C. Or Jimmy the C. And he always did this one mic in Sherman Oaks at the Liquid Zoo. And he, after every joke, he would say the joke, and then without waiting for a laugh, he would throw his arm to the side and pull it up, and then just go like, you know, the like kaboom. Like he would bring the arm down like he's trying to hail an 18-wheeler, and it'd just be like, you know, women wear panties because they're afraid of themselves. Kaboom. And I would lose it. And to me, and honestly, watching him play was kind of the perverse highlight of my night. Because like you might get like two really good comics. Like there's like 30 of us, and at the zoo they would always give us 7 minutes, which is like great. Sure. But entirely too long. Right. As an audience watching like first time comedians or like young comedians and whatever. And so like it would be a mix of that and then like just these guys in their mid to late 30s, who knows how long they've been doing stand up, just talking about how their lives suck and no one cares. And then
we can't all be Mark Maron.
Right. We can't all be Mark Maron. And Mark Maron has been doing comedy longer than you.
Yes.
And, you know, he's being honest, and he's talking about his role in it. You know, like that's the thing about that kind of comedy. It can work, but only if you implicate yourself. If you're in denial, it's from Justified. I love that show. I think Raylan at some point says, you know, if you wake up in the morning and you meet an asshole that day, you met an asshole. If you wake up in the morning and everyone you meet are assholes, you're the asshole. You know, and these were a lot of the latter type of guy. I mean, there were plenty of those in Boston too. But I cared in Boston because their lives weren't going to get better.
Right.
You know, and they were implicating themselves in the world around them because, like, on the East Coast. Where are you from?
Upstate New York.
You're from New York. Okay. I feel like on some level, and I could be very wrong about this, East Coasters are better at dealing with crisis than, say, people in Southern California because the weather was always crappy.
100%.
And so when you woke up, you could always have a really crappy day based on the weather, and you had no control over it. Whereas out here, most of the time the weather is exactly the same. So when something bad happens or when something rains, people panic because it's different. Whereas if you're always dealing with change and with aggressive change, that's going to make you wet and miserable and can ruin your shit, then you can handle whatever's coming at you. Or at the very least, you're not shocked when things go wrong.
It's a very good point.
There's a lot less pity me and more like we're all screwed.
Right. Well, I do very much now want to see you do stand up because if only because I very much like the types of stories that you pick. Everything you've told me, like even the ones you said that maybe didn't go so well, I see where your brain is and the things you like to pick out about life. That's the thing that always makes me stick with a certain stand-up. Even though Bill Cosby doesn't have the life I had, it doesn't matter. The stories they bounce off me perfectly in a certain way, or I absorb them in a certain way. So your stories are doing the same sort of thing, and I like that you like logic. So you're clearly you like to pick these things apart, and that's One of those things I like about stand-ups.
Yeah.
You can tell a good story, but also suck something out of it that's more than just, here's a funny story, then that's...
And I feel like it comes from this wonderful defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have a weird or a screwed up childhood. The easiest way to avoid getting hurt again is to completely dissect the situation that you were involved with. Now, that can lead to some destructive shit, too.
Sure.
Where you're thinking about it so much that you drive yourself insane.
Mm-hmm.
And that has happened before.
Uh-huh.
But then when you're faced with something ridiculous, you do it in the same way. It's why I love my favorite Bill Cosby bit ever. And my favorite album, like I want to say it's Russell, but it's Fat Albert.
Okay.
It will always be Fat Albert. It's the funniest one.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's telling the story of Fat Albert's car that Fat Albert loves, and he spends every dime, every cent that he has goes towards the car, and then one day he gets a Cessna airplane engine for the car. Now, I don't know if that's possible at all.
Right.
That's crazy. But then he dovetails off of that and starts talking about the noise that it's making when he takes Fat Albert's car to do his driving test. When Bill's doing his driving test with Fat Albert's car, and the horrible noise that's coming. And if I can feel it, I can see it, and I'm like, if I was in that car, I'd be laughing so hard. Like, just the ridiculous thing is something serious is happening, there's just a hilarious noise. And all the stakes are on the line, because if you can't drive, man, then you're not going to be able to take the girls out and all that stuff.
Right.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love subverting very serious things. I think one of the hardest times that I ever laughed was during it was a 9/11 moment of silence, and everyone was so quiet. It was the most quiet, because like it was math class with Mr. Matafar, and no one cared about him, and he had no control, so it was always a very loud class.
Okay.
Everyone's super quiet, and then like a pen fell on the ground or something, and I just lose it. And I'm laughing, and everyone's staring at me like angry, because like I'm in New Jersey, and like, you know, like my dad was like on the a block away from the World Trade Center when the first plane hit. Like, you know, it's real. That's real shit. But the fact that we're all taking it so seriously, I couldn't handle. And it's moments like that are the funniest to me. My brother's eulogy of my grandma is one of the funniest, horrifyingly funniest, and I held in so much laughter. I feel so terrible about this, but I doubt he'll ever listen to it. But he gets up there and he starts banging on the podium. He's so worked up, you know. He's sad. Our grandma is dead. And he starts banging on this podium. Edie Lieberman was a pillar of light. And I'm just like, oh, God, here we go. And he's just telling this very beautiful, very eloquent speech, but he's banging on the podium like Mussolini, and he can't stop. And then, just when I'm like, he says something very beautiful, I'm like, oh, okay, great, come down now. And then he's like, and then I gave Grandma one more miracle. I'm like, oh, God. And he's like, I got a cat. And I was able to give her a grandchild before she died in this cat.
Oh, shit.
And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, no one will speak at my funeral. This cannot happen again. It's... Because, I mean, you're being so beautiful.
Of course.
And nice.
Of
and, like,
course.
you're doing this woman and her memory such incredible justice.
Yes.
And then you make it into this weird kind of humble brag of, my cat gave her last bit of joy before she went. What are you doing? Man? Who are you? Who's supposed to follow that?
Right.
How?
Right.
And, that's the most beautiful thing.
Oh, I gotta say, man, that's... And it's too bad you can't tell anybody else, because that's a great bit in and of itself. But holy shit.
I might just do it. I'd rather... If I do it as a bit, then he can get mad, but as long as it's for work, like, what's the... I don't know.
Could be somebody else. Doesn't have to be your brother, necessarily.
No, I can't. That's the one thing. When I was doing it, I can't lie and be funny.
Okay.
Like,
respectable.
The more I do a joke if it's like something that happened to me, and the further removed from it I get,
okay, yeah,
I can't.
You can't commit to that, right?
I can't commit to it.
I get that
because it's potentially no longer true.
Sure.
And
they'll see it. They'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I developed this whole my California routine. The one that was working was all this stuff about my relationship with this ex-girlfriend, and then she and I broke up. And you know how on Ron White's first Comedy Central Presents, he does all these jokes about his wife.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "We actually divorced. I just wanted to tell all those jokes." Right.
Yeah.
And I figured I could do the same thing, and I just can't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so weird, and there's just this hollowness to it.
And on top of that, she's a fine Catholic woman. Can't do nothing about it because there's the Pope sitting right over there. And I say, hey, Pope, watch it, you know. Hey, no Catholic's supposed to use those things. So she's irked all the time. Matter of fact, this last baby was through the midnight trampoline. Yes, indeed. My wife, that was strange for her. Yeah, holding it up to the light, see if any holes in it or something like that. Yeah. Old powerful cause, boy. You can put any kind of protective shield up there, I'll get through there. Right through the midnight trampoline, Jack. Zonk. Oh my goodness, you better believe it. You had penalty for not having it on anyway. Right through the old midnight trampoline. Powerful. Black Eyed Peas do that for you. Thank you and good night.
It's different though. I mean, he's got a character that borders on something beyond who he is, or at least feels that way. You know, it's a very tightly knit character to the point where, like, maybe that's why he can pull that off. Also,
well, there's something almost mythic to how he lays something out, because there's mumbly conversation Cosby, who's like he doesn't need your attention.
Yep.
You know, go ahead, finish your dinners. Finish your dinners as soon as you can. I'll be right with you. I'm going to handle these people up front.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little fun. And he's doing that until he gets into a bit. And then he slows everything down so that you hear the message.
Yeah.
Peas all over the floor.
That's so good.
And he takes... I keep referencing to Russell, my brother, but like the way that he plays the dad in that whole whole sequence is, I feel like something that he may have taken from his father and applied to his stand-up. When he is making a point, and Chris Rock does it too, but he puts like way more like energy behind it. He's like rolling. He's like he's like a big rolling wave, whereas Cosby, it's kind of a slow wave instead of like a bunch of like furious lapping at the shore as the big one comes in.
Yeah.
It's just one big one that you see coming from a mile away. It is deliberately. It's like the iceberg versus the tidal wave. Might be a better analogy, where he's like, you are going to crash into this and you will laugh, and I'm going to make sure that you understand why before it crashes.
Right.
And I love that pattern, because it's like once he realizes, once he knows that he has enough of the crowd's attention, and he doesn't need to work anymore to get them on his side, now he's owning the room. It's not, I don't need your attention, it's give me your attention. I deserve your attention. Because now that the majority of the room is already in the palm of his hand, there's no fight there. No one's fighting back and saying, you don't deserve my attention.
Right.
You know, because he's earned it at this point. And you can always... There's a comfort in that. That's like another defense mechanism. There's pretending not to care, and then there is speaking with the voice of God. And the character that he builds in his stand-up very much... He's passing down life lessons and making you realize the things you should have realized before you left for school.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if you didn't, then this is why that happened. And there's another thing. I'm going to name check Heather Campbell again because she's brilliant. And she talked about there's 9 stock characters in improv, and this is something that she learned, I think, at the Comedy Dojo, which is a school that's no longer around.
Okay.
And the first one is the boss or the father, and it's someone who views all other people in a scene as in need of advice.
Okay, sure.
And I'm going to explain this to you no matter what, and that is the game that they play, and you can apply that to infinite scenarios. And he is very much, he's playing that boss character, and once he is in that mode, you cannot stop him. You can either laugh or you can be quiet so that the other people can get the message.
Right.
And there's like I want to know when that happened because I haven't listened to the first album. I have the second one, Something When I Was a Child. And I have Revenge, and I have Sports, and I have Wonderfulness.
Okay.
And but I can't remember exactly, and I'll have to go through them all again.
Sure.
When he zeroes in on this style of delivery.
Yeah.
This very punchy, boss-like, I know more than you, and I'm going to let you know. It's like, it's funny, like Greg Proops kind of does his like smartest man in the world thing, and it's a similar deal.
Yeah.
Cosby plays, even when he's talking about something very, very simple, like why we're served peas. He's playing at the top of his intelligence. Whatever he's saying, it's almost like a big like intellectual firm, like a lab, just did a huge study on why we are served peas,
right.
And I need to tell you the results of the study because they will astound you.
Right.
Yeah. And it just peas. He makes a lot of flat out, not accusations, but like he says he comes out and says a lot of stuff that he can't really back up. I want to talk to you about his bit about atheism. Can we talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
So, in the first show, I don't think he repeats it for the second show. Cosby launches into this bit about how he doesn't think that atheism is a real thing. Because no matter how much you deny God's existence, the ground starts shaking, you're going to look up.
Right.
And I'm somebody who, like, I'm relatively detached from religion at this point. I won't say that there's no, greater consciousness, but a God in the way we traditionally define, maybe not. And that just made me roar with laughter because I'm exactly one of the friggin' hypocrites that he's talking about who, like, I still catch myself saying, God, please, I've never asked you for anything.
Yeah.
Can I have this thing?
Yeah.
Or like, please, God, no. Or God damn it. Or like, and that goes back into the fear thing.
Yeah.
Is a lot of atheists, and maybe I'm speaking out of school. I feel like a lot of atheists on some level, if they were raised religious, in the back of their head, and tell me if this is the same with you, you still, on some level, you pray you're not wrong.
Right.
Or like, you do little things that like, in case you are wrong and there is a God,
right.
You'll be okay.
And I definitely had a lot of that. I was not raised religious, but the idea of a God was definitely there.
Okay.
So for sure, even as I question it, I do recall growing up exactly what you're talking about. I think I'm over it now, for the most part. Although I will say this for certain, when I've had to deal with one or two deaths or near deaths, I've definitely prayed. And I don't know how to pray, but I did it my own way. And it wasn't
What happened? What was
well,
the
when
near death?
my dad had a heart attack a few years ago, like several in a row, and
Jesus
died on the
Christ.
table twice.
Oh my God!
He's fine now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was definitely borderline praying. And I was like, I don't know what this means. I still believe in a collective unconscious, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm praying to. I don't give a shit. But but it does. You at the end of the day, you still feel like, fuck. What am I? Is this a crutch that I just fell back on that I didn't know I had?
I know. Well, that's. I think, people say you need your vices. I think you also need your crutches.
Sure.
And I totally. I love what you said. What did you call it? The collective unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
I find it so much easier to believe in that than in a force that's sentient.
Mm-hmm.
In just like little things. Like the other day, I'm sitting with a friend, we're writing, and she talks about, we're thinking of directors for this short we're trying to make, and she's like, oh, this guy, he did this short film with this guy and this girl from Mad Men, and I just throw out Abigail Spencer, who plays like is a recurring on the show, hasn't been on the show in a couple years.
Right. Yeah.
Not the first person you'd think of on Mad Men.
Yeah.
It was totally Abigail Spencer.
That's funny.
And I didn't know any of the other people in this equation. I didn't know the film festival that it was in.
Yeah.
But you're still pulling something from the universe and using it.
I love it.
And that has to mean something.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What are the other bits that he does twice?
It's hard for me. See, since I've only listened to the whole thing once now,
I know
it's so hard because sometimes I get a couple times to listen to it. I love the inside of this album.
The inside is so cool.
That
it's
is
just this
fucking
like
amazing. Him
great,
in a corncob pipe.
Great
Holy
picture
shit.
of Cosby with like a fisherman's cap and a corncob pipe with his glasses on. They do something very weird with this record, which is sides 1 and 4 are on the same LP, and sides 2 and 3 are on the other LP.
Oh yes, right.
So they make you come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which like drives me crazy because I just want to listen to like one show.
Right.
I'm just lazy. I'm a lazy.
Well, and I think that's right. They did. So you know what? I listened to them in the wrong order. Then that makes
Oh.
So now that I think about it, I don't know when he said what, but. It explains why the energy was a little weird.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's 1, 4, 2, 3.
All right.
And then one of the interesting things, I started doing some research on the album before I came in here. There's a set of lines, and I want to know if you heard him. He does that bit about, he starts talking about birth control.
Yes.
And he talks about how his second daughter was born.
Yeah.
Did he mention the magic trampoline?
Yeah, the midnight trampoline.
The midnight trampoline.
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, so you weren't listening to the same copy as me. That after the first pressing, they took those lines out.
What?
They took those lines out.
Really?
Of the recording.
I did see that. Yeah, I was looking at. I might have seen that on Wikipedia or something.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And it's like the edgiest thing that he says that he maybe has ever said, because he's talking about his wife's diaphragm and how Cosby sperm are so strong that they can pierce a diaphragm, or at the very least slip around it.
Right.
And I'm just like, are we really talking about this, Dr. Cosby? Holy shit, man.
So it's not on the pressing you have?
It is on the
it
pressing.
is on this one. Oh, okay.
It is.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got
okay,
lucky.
Good.
The one that I bought, I guess, is a first pressing.
It's fucking great.
So I'm really stoked about that. Oh, man. And then in doing the research, like with this Cosby music album, he's put out like 10 music albums.
Really? I've only seen 2. That's amazing.
He's put out like 10. This is the very first one.
That's awesome.
But he was doing music as a side thing, like well into the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. And like a few of them, like it was like names of bands. And, can I pull this up? I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You should find time. It's
Okay.
okay. Hey, no. But we should wrap it up, if only
man.
because I have. But I want you to please come back, because now we have to talk about the Fat Albert album, because I've never heard it.
Oh my God, we gotta talk about it. Let's do it.
I know some Fat Albert bits, but I don't know that album. So that's amazing.
It's the best one.
That's good.
It's the best one.
I normally ask people to wrap it up by saying why you think this is it. You've already done it. You've made the case for this album. no doubt about it.
Thank you.
However, I do want to make sure and pull up the thing you're going to pull up.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that people know where to find you. I want to make sure you can plug some stuff.
I will plug all the stuff. Mm-hmm. But so he did Silver Throat.
Yep.
Bill Cosby Sings Hooray for the Salvation Band.
Yes,
68.
okay. Yep.
Badfoot Brown and the Bunions, Bradford Funeral and Marching Band. He's the Master of Ceremonies in Charles Mingus and Friends in Concert.
Okay.
He did another Badfoot Brown album. At last, Bill Cosby really sings. Bill Cosby's not himself these days.
Yeah.
Disco Bill, 1977.
That I've never seen.
Where You Lay Your Head, 1990. My Appreciation, 1991.
Oh, shit.
His last music album was released in 2010. Keep Standing.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
He's still doing that and still doing stand-up.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the 2013 special. Did you watch it? I
haven't seen it yet either.
Okay. I
was kind of waiting for him to come on the show. And then,
oh, man.
That needs to happen.
But if folks want to find me,
they should.
Thank you again, Jason, for having me.
Uh-huh.
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman, and you can also find me on AfterBuzz TV. It's a video and audio podcasting platform. We're on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher. We recap and review pretty much every TV show on the air.
That's awesome.
So right now, what am I doing? I'm doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC, Resurrection on ABC. I'm doing Justified on FX, Cougar Town on TBS, Helix and Lost Girl on Sci-Fi, Banshee on Cinemax, which is wrapping up on Monday. They just aired the finale last night. It was awesome.
Okay.
Doing a bunch of stuff in the spring. Got Mad Men coming back in April.
Nice.
So you throw a rock, you'll find a show with me on it there. Highly recommend it. And then I'm also actually just starting out as a correspondent at SourceFed.
Okay.
It's a YouTube network. They do internet news and comedy, rants in front of a white background. It's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
So you can find me at AfterBuzz TV and SourceFed, or if you live in LA and you want to see some live sketch, you can see me as a member of DJ Fawcett at the I.O. West Theater on Hollywood Boulevard.
Nice.
And we're also doing a showcase at the Comedy Central stage on April 30th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
My apologies for being retarded. But this was so much fun.
It's okay. You can be challenged all you want, and I'll always come back.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Well, that's good to hear. And I will also compliment you on having been in two of the best shows that we've done of a drinking game.
Oh,
and we really need to do Top Gun again, but
we need to do Top Gun.
It was amazing.
Well, let's get it up to 2 a month, man.
Seriously, man.
You've been doing it for like 4 years.
I know.
It's 2 a month. What's the harm?
Yeah, I know. Livers aren't important.
I guess
who needs a liver?
Well, that's why you cycle people in and out.
Right. Well,
to save people from psoriasis.
I would refuse. I would refuse to cycle.
Cirrhosis, not psoriasis.
It's okay. Close enough. This affects your skin. That's okay. Thank you again. This is awesome. People, please look him up online. Matt Lieberman.
Please do.
And as always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klom. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. Please visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, and if you like us, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can find us on Facebook.com/ComedyOnVinyl, Twitter @ComedyOnVinyl, and find everything else at ComedyOnVinyl.com.